Welcome, everybody, to Greg Talks to People. This is the show recommended by 4 out of 5 therapists because the other therapist was on lunch break.
Mhm.
We are talking about mental health today, and it is such an important topic, especially in recent years with everything that happened with the pandemic, with social media just consuming our entire lives, basically. And it's challenging out there. So let's get into it. And I probably put a trigger warning in the description and on all social media, but just so you know, it's going to get deep in here. So be prepared. First of all, let's welcome SJ back to the channel. You know SJ from Luck of the Draw on the Greg Cherry Show. SJ, welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's always good to be back on this channel. Always a good time. Except, of course, today's serious, but it's always a good time.
I mean, it is serious, but you know what? It'll also be therapeutic. So I
Definitely.
think, I think
100%.
we
Oh,
can look
yeah.
forward to that. And joining us for the first time, High Five Tom. Welcome to the
Greg,
show.
thank you for having me. This is a very important topic, and you're talking about the pandemic, and it's hard to imagine that 2020 was 5+ years ago, when 2020 seemed like it was never going to end.
I mean, I feel like the years have dragged on since then. Every year feels like it's about 500 days long. Especially 2025, but we'll get into it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. I'm glad, and I thank you guys. This is a very important topic, something that I don't really discuss very much. So I appreciate you guys getting me out of my shell. Like I said, we were talking in pre-production. My life is kind of like an open book, but not in some ways. So yeah, we're gonna get deep here, kids. So strap the fuck in.
And I'll tell you what, one of the things I strive, and I told you this also before the show, is this channel is all about being exactly who you are. And like Tom, I'll point out perfectly. Typically, people don't like eat on shows. I eat on shows. And it's like, and because it's like, hey, we're all normal people. We don't have to be like glammed up, glowed up all the time. We are who we are. And that's something that is important. Like we are all people. We should all try to understand each other and not try and hide behind some facade of what could be or what should be. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, and it kind of to bring a little bit of levity, Liz. You called me sir right out the bat, and I'm like, I'm not even wearing pants. So, I mean, I'm not even.
Well, don't stand up then because I'll be thrown off of YouTube.
Yeah, I do have shorts on, so
Oh, okay.
I'm not a fan of pants in general, so it takes a lot for me to wear pants. So
I got you.
also orange shorts is 52 below, by the way.
Hmm.
And that was really dumb. But that's another story for another time.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like I think the only time I've worn a short sleeve shirt outside in the cold, it was like 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So which is like -1 Celsius around there. Quick math. Yeah, let's get into the topic of today's show. We are talking about mental health, and it's a very generic topic. We're not going to hit maybe everything in the show. We might not even hit some of the important things, but we're going to talk about our journeys. We're going to talk about some of the things that we've struggled with. And it's going to get, like I said, we're going to talk openly about things that we have struggled with in our lives. And just be prepared for it. This is as real as it gets. SJ, I'm going to start with you. Where do you, I know because you and I have talked like multiple times over the last few months. Where is your mental health journey now? And where do you think it was maybe even a year ago?
Well, I'd have to say that I think my mental health started probably probably like when I was like a kid even. I mean, because growing up, like I had like four older sisters and like my parents were like alcoholics. They weren't really around much. And so like they weren't there to like, give like give, because there were always like my parents are great. Don't get me wrong. I love my parents to death. Bless their souls. But I mean, there was some times where like we were like left unattended, or they didn't even come to our needs or anything, or like, or so that kind of um messed up my mental health a bit as I got older. Um, I find that like throughout the years I've been how can I say it? I've been pretty much like I was always one to always need like validation from others, reassurance from people. Like, I was always like that. And I never ever knew why I was so like that, always wanting like all this attention. Until just recently. Well, actually, yeah, until just recently this past September, like last year, I got diagnosed with borderline personality and like general anxiety disorder, as well as major depression. So I'm like, yay, I'm a fun dip of three. Um but but yeah, so, and because like I never knew what was going on with me. Like I was like, what the hell's wrong with my brain? Why am I having these thoughts? Why am I needing so much reassurance or whatever? Like I've lost so many like friends and family members because of this condition. So it's like, yeah, it's been pretty hard. And like, and I find, and then after my parents passed away, like that's when it really took a detour. Like I was harming myself. I was getting put in treatment centers. I was going to crisis units. Like it was a fucking roller coaster for me. Like it was, and then they finally got me in for a psychiatrist, which was like back in, like I said, in September when they finally got me in. They started me on some medication. So they put me on citrulline for like, they started me low at 50. And then they ended up, and then just a few months ago, I ended up in the crisis unit again because I had a bit of a crisis at work. I kind of just like broke down at work, melted down on the floor crying, like for no reason. Like I don't know what was wrong with me. And then my boss came and said, okay, I'm bringing you to the crisis unit. So they brought me there and I ended up being there for 5 days.
Mm.
And then when they brought me there, I got like, they upped my dose for my meds. So now I'm on 100 milligrams and now it's staying at 100 milligrams because I find that that's helping me a lot. But I'm not going to lie, like the struggles, like, could still be there. Like I still have the thoughts and everything. So that's why they ended up sending me to the short-term um treatment program. So I went to that just recently for like 5 months. I completed 5 months, sorry, 5 weeks. So I completed the whole 5 weeks just like this past January, and I learned a lot of skills that I can use to help manage my mental health a lot better. So, and it's been a lot better, like for sure, because like I'm not as jumping to conclusions. I'm not asking for constant reassurance. I'm mostly validating myself now. Like I don't need anyone else's validation because of what I learned from the stat program. So, but yeah, that's just a little bit about my journey of what I've been through and going on.
And I think that covers quite a bit of like information that we all deal with, maybe not similar type of issues with our mental health, but they all float around the same type of thing. It's You mentioned like reassurance from other people, and I feel like that comes from a place where you don't feel heard, like you don't feel seen, and like as somebody who is an introvert, but is also trying to put myself out there. That's a nightmare on the mental health
Hmm.
because it's like I want to stay
Hmm.
away from people, but I also want attention. So it's like you got to find a balance, and all the stuff you dealt with. Like you and I have talked about this, off camera quite a bit.
Hmm.
It's very tough, but if you have people that are there for you, that are there to help you through it, that is a major a major thing that I think a lot of people overlook.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I like if it wasn't for like my husband and my sisters, like I don't know where I'd be right now, to be honest. Like I could have, I'll be honest, I could have been dead by now if I didn't decide to get the help I needed.
Mm.
Because like I said, I was always cutting myself. I tried hanging myself. I tried everything under the freaking sun, taking pills, and Yeah. So, and then finally I thought to myself, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna get the help I need. I was just tired of like going into treatment centers, going to crisis units, like, and I've been to my doctor so many times, and he couldn't even give me any medication until I saw a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well, shit, okay. But yeah, no, it's been a freaking roller coaster. But I'm happy to say I'm doing a lot better now. Like I'm finding different hobbies to keep my mind busy from like those like thoughts. I'm like kind of like turning my mind more and like not like trying to like stop my overthinking. Like I mean, we like I know I finished the program, I got my medication, but I still have those moments,
Mm.
like where it just like something triggers you and then you start spiraling and then you start like getting mad at people or saying stuff you don't mean and then after that it's like okay. Um but yeah, so that's my little journey.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you also touched on is that we need to be able to understand and experience our emotions when we're dealing with something. And sometimes it's hard to get people to understand that because they're not going through the same thing. It's very hard to have that
Mhm.
empathy for another person. I think that's lost so much in today's society,
Oh yeah, definitely.
especially with social media. Social media is soulless. I wear this shirt. Let me show
Mhm.
you. And this is not a chance to plug the shirts on my
It's
store,
okay.
but there's a reason I wear this. And I feel like this ties into it because politics have consumed people so much to the point that they are obsessed with it, and anything that comes against them causes them to spiral. Like we need to inject more humanity into our minds, and we're not doing that, and it's causing such a disconnect.
100%. Yeah.
Now, Tom, we can get into your journey as well. Like, what are some of the things
Mhm.
that you've dealt with personally in your life that have affected your mental health journey?
Um, well, I don't know. It's been so long. Like I think I have been battling, suicidal thoughts and depression probably since I was 14. I mean, honestly, I don't think there has gone more than 2 weeks in my life where I haven't thought about killing myself. And like not really like thought about killing it, but just like like adulation, just like a lot or I'm stuttering all of a sudden. A lot of it I guess is just like always wondering what would people do if I was gone and like, how I would do it and stuff like that. I think a lot of it's got to do, we were talking about sports earlier, but I probably had 4 or 5, 6 concussions before I was 14. So my brain's been rattled a bunch. Ironically enough, playing soccer, you don't really associate soccer with, concussions, but I was a pretty active kid, pretty accident prone. But yeah, like I said, it's been so long. I don't really remember a time when I didn't battle, I've depression and unfortunately, I'm the exact opposite of SJ. This is really the only, like the second time I've ever actually really talked about it, um, at all. So I've definitely been, I've never wanted to be a burden to people, so that's why I've always tried to be like that person that people can go to. Because when people like come to me, that's kind of like my therapy. That really helps me, it's kind of being selfish, but it helps me battle with my demons when people come talk to me about it. If that makes any kind of sense.
Oh, I mean, considering the two people you're in the room with who are basically each other's therapists,
Yeah.
okay.
Not
I have
too much.
constantly said, especially over the last couple months, that SJ and I are each other's therapists. Um, but yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. It's one of those things where, I've also had that feeling. I'm sure SJ has as well. I don't want to speak for her, but that we don't want to be a burden to the people that we care about. And we want to be that outlet to help people. And, I've always wanted to be that for people. I still want to be that today. And sometimes it's frustrating when people don't take you up on that opportunity because they think, oh, what kind of game is he playing? Like, why does he want to talk to me or whatever the case may be? And it's like it's nothing like that. It's like I genuinely, at least in my perspective, I'm sure for yours, you just want to be able to help people, be there for people, show that human kindness that
Right.
is somewhere in all of us.
Yeah, and like I said, I've had my fair share. I don't want to say suicide attempts, but I've definitely thought about it. There's been definitely times. I mean, like as you mentioned, I was a very big cutter as a kid. I mean, my arms are littered. I used to put cigarettes out on myself all the time just for shits and giggles, and it wasn't really. Sometimes it was for attention. Sometimes one time was to save me from getting my ass kicked, so that was kind of nice. Um, I got into a little fight with this guy, and I grabbed a cigarette and I put it on my forehead so he wouldn't kick my ass. But um, just stuff like that. I was just like big self harm. I've definitely thought about the pills or help, but I mean, there's times they're driving, I'm like, maybe I'll just turn into this freeway embankment. Um, I've I don't want to say I had a problem with alcohol. Well, is that alcohol does run in my family. My grandparents, 3 out of the 4 died from alcohol, basically, in the general gist of it. Um, I wouldn't say it was really an alcohol, but I was definitely a binge drinker. Like for me, like one was too many, and 10, 20 wasn't enough. I couldn't go out and just have a beer. I had to have 30. And then I would go and do stupid things. I just look at some of the, I'm embarrassed to say some of the drunk driving things I've done. I just look back, I'm like, thank God, A, I didn't hurt someone else, and B, didn't hurt someone else. It's just let her hurt myself.
Mhm.
It's like you get home and you're like, wow, why is there blood over my pillow? Like you go outside, is my car here? I'm like, okay, it's sweet. It's like, yeah, shit like that. So yeah, I've definitely had my feelings with stuff like that. So, um, it's kind of like a slow suicide, I guess, in a way. Kind of slowly killing yourself and not taking care of yourself. I've done a lot better at trying to do that at this point in my life, but yeah. So I mean, yeah, because I quit drinking like 2 years ago. It just wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, whatever the reason, really, to like stop doing that. And I'll tell you what, like, I feel like everybody at some point in their life has those kind of thoughts. I know I have. Um, I've never done anything to act on it, but like, I think the worst bout that I had with it was actually last month, just because the entirety of 2025 was absolutely hellacious to me. It's the year I got divorced. It's the year I shuffled through jobs like they were water. It was it was so unstable and nothing was going my way. And it's like, I don't know a way out of this. And it's one of those things where you can reach out to people, but in situations like that, there's only so much people can do to help. But at times, all you want to do is talk to people. And like, I know the name of the show is Greg Talks to People, and
Mm.
it's supposed to be therapeutic. And it really is because I don't get the chance to do this that much. So being able to talk with both of you about it is interesting. And I've never, I don't want to say I haven't like self harmed, at least not like physically. I've noticed in the last few months, I'm pretty sure I'm diabetic, and I have been consuming so much sugar in the last few months. Like, I think I've gained 20 pounds in the last month or two. And it's because it's like, I don't care. Like, I'm in pain. I need something to calm this pain down. And it doesn't help anything. It doesn't
Mhm.
take that pain away. It's just replacing it with a little extra chub on the belly. It doesn't,
It's just kind of like your way of doing your own self-soothe. Like, you
yeah,
try and find different ways to soothe yourself so your mind's not racing or you're not like having those ideation thoughts. Like,
yeah.
I've learned that actually in stat. They actually gave me a long list of soothing stuff I can do so I can like help like manage what's going on up in here.
Mm.
So, yeah, so it's really finding something self-soothe that will help you like move your mind from those thoughts kind of thing. And that's exactly what you were doing.
Yeah, and something I've noticed is when I am doing something and I really care about it, I don't I don't eat a ton, which is not a bad thing, really. It's one of those, it's like I have something to focus on. I need to get this done. I talked to you about editing videos. Like I have some stuff I got to get done. I want to put stuff together. And that's something that is soothing. You've mentioned to me that you do diamond paintings or you just started.
Yeah. I just recently started doing I've been doing a bunch of different hobbies. I've been making bracelets. I've been doing diamond painting. I've been going to the gym, like, just trying to keep my cuckoo mind leveled.
Mhm. The gym is something I need to do once I figure out the living situation and all that. Tom, what are some things that you do to calm your mind essentially?
Um, the biggest thing I do in like I said, I definitely notice when I don't do it, is really just getting outside and walking. Listen, my biggest ritual is always Esther, you've seen these, but listen, doing Sunday night walk night. I always make sure I gotta do a nice lot of walk, I got the week coming up and everything. And when I don't do Sunday night walk night or I haven't been walking as much, I definitely feel it. Like last month, um, just a lot of things kind of came to a head and I was definitely not walking as much. And I could definitely tell because my mental health went just down like complete shitter there for a while. For yes,
Mhm.
just getting outside, getting fresh air, walking. I do my best thinking when I'm walking. Um, that unless just reading. The reading is also my big thing. For sure. I do enjoy reading. My biggest the universe told me that I needed to read more books than I ever had before this year. That's another story in itself. But yeah, reading and walking really and just and just and I because I working from home, I've definitely gotten pretty antisocial. Which is funny considering some of my other side hustles are very in the public. Oh, listen, because I bartended for 20 years. People like, how can you be antisocial when you're a bartender? Well, like it's easy because I'm in control and there's a bar between me and everybody else. So I have like my little cocoon, even though I'm in the public, but I'm in control of that. But when I'm like out like in public, I'm just like I can be a really big wallflower and just like kind of try and sink into the wall. Which is kind of funny because I am kind of a people person sometimes. Yeah, but long story short, walking, getting outside, just trying to get outside of your own head.
And getting outside of our own head is tough because I feel like we all have, I don't want to say vices, but I feel like we all have those things that keep us on a path that might not be the best for us. Like we all have addictions of some kind. And one of the things I was addicted to, and as stupid as it sounds, was like a mobile wrestling game. And I played it for like 8 straight years, every single day for like hours a day. And it got to the point just in the last month or two, I realized I was dropping a lot of money on the game, which is
Mhm.
so stupid because it's in the real world, it affects absolutely nothing other than my bank account. So I basically cut myself off as like, I can't do this anymore. If I want to move forward with my life, I need to cut out the stuff that is not good for me. I'm still working on it because clearly I'm still eating like really bad stuff, but you got to start somewhere. So I'm going to ask
Mhm.
both of you, and you choose who starts. What are some of the things that you have had to cut out of your life to improve your mental health?
Hmm.
Phone.
If you already have it on, oh yeah, yeah, phones. Yes, for me too.
Yeah, as we actually talked about this in the Discord. It's just whenever I get a chance to leave my phone somewhere, I do. Listen, I'm walking. Yes, I have my iPod, but my iPod is not connected to the internet. I download stuff, so there's no way I can connect with the outside world. Um, I listen. If I go with my wife and my wife has her phone, I leave my phone at home. I say whenever I'm sleeping, the phone is in the other room. So anytime I can get away from the phone, um, is my big one. And listen, yeah, one of my daily goals, is I try to stay off of social media for at least 12 hours a day. Yes, I know I'm sleeping for 8 hours of that, but still, I mean, yeah.
Well, that's good though that you can set a limit for yourself though too. That's really good.
Mhm.
Like, cause some people sometimes can't set limits for themselves. They just keep going and going, just keep doom scrolling. So good
Yeah.
for you.
That's me. Um, and I think too, like one of the things for me is because I'm in the situation I'm in, I'm not connected with a ton of people like in person. So it's kind of all I got.
Well, and also too, like with the pandemic, after the pandemic happened, I find that my social battery goes a lot quicker now. Like, like sometimes if I go some place, I'm like, oh my god, it's getting too people here. Like, I gotta leave. I gotta step out. Like, and I blame the pandemic for that one.
Mhm. I'll tell you what, like one of the most social experiences that I had was back in August when we met in person. And like we got to talk to some wrestlers, we got to meet up with them, we got to see Kate and talk with her a
Mhm.
little bit. And like that was one of the most I mean that weekend really because I had the dinner with Maven as well was one of the most social things I think I've done in a very long time. And I feel like it was because I want to say I was around my people because that's
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
what it is. It's I have been for the last several years so secluded from like wrestling people in general, other than like when I talk to them online, that's like actually physically being around them. I almost felt comfortable, which
Mhm.
kind of freaked me out because I was like, I want to be around people. What is happening?
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm home now.
Mhm.
I'm like that with concerts too. Like when I go to concerts, I'm like, these are my people.
Because it's such a I want to say wrestling is such a niche type enjoyment. Like there are tons of people who love it, but like there aren't people who openly talk about it. So when you go to these conventions, and I've been to two conventions in the last year because I was at the one in August and I was at one last month, and you just see so many people to be able to talk to. Like I don't think in years past I would have gone up and be like, "Hey, here's a wrestler. I'm gonna go talk to them," and yet there I go because it's like you find something you enjoy but you also don't want to be too weird about it because like you get in your head it's like oh am I gonna come across as weird and that's another thing entirely like I feel like I'm just word vomiting at this point but I for a number of years have just felt so secluded from everybody because if they're not talking about something I understand or like I'm very passionate about I stay quiet because I don't want to come across as an idiot. It's like I don't know why that's such a big fear of me, especially with some of the stuff I've done on the internet, but it just freaks me out. It's like I want people to respect me in some sense, and I don't feel like that happens a lot.
Mm.
And like I think I do it to myself sometimes because I go on social media probably way too frequently. And I look at the likes and the comments or the lack thereof, and I place my value in them. And that's stupid. I know it's stupid, but I do it anyway. And I feel like, especially in this day and age of social media, people want to go viral. People want
Mhm.
people talking about them or to them. And it's like with that and the creation and rise of AI, it's just furthering us from humanity. And it's not a good thing.
Yeah. I understand that too because for me, I'm sure you guys noticed I go in and out of social media so many times. Like there's some days where I'm feeling like with my BPD, like if I'm feeling it and I'm feeling good, yeah, I'm gonna post or whatever, right? But then the back of my mind, I'm like, "Oh my god," I don't know why I was like before I did the stat program, I was always worried about likes or whatever and stuff, like cuz you always use that to validate yourself.
Mhm.
But now that I'm starting to like validate myself a lot more better, I don't really like a goal for me this year was to not post on social media much just to give myself a peace of mind.
Yeah.
So, and Yeah, and so far it's been helping. Like, it's been helping me a lot.
That's good. Do you feel the same thing, Tom?
Yeah, 100%. And I don't post much. Listen, anything for social media, I try to just share as much as I can, but not actually posting anything. I don't know if that actually counts. Um, yeah, because I mean, you definitely get in that mode. Like, oh, I posted something. It's like, why don't only 3 people like it? Well, like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And and listen, I'm like you, Greg. I don't understand rhythm. People aren't seeing it, or maybe I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
people don't like this.
Oh,
Get
oh,
that.
that's the one that gets me. That's the one that gets me all the time, and like it frustrates me because I post comedy gold on Twitter and it goes to waste because nobody sees it. Like I don't talk super highly of myself a lot. I am super funny, and it drives me nuts that the algorithm doesn't pick up on it.
Hmm.
Or at least I like to
Yeah.
think I'm funny or witty or whatever the case may be. But you're right. Like focusing on that kind of stuff, and I don't know if this conversation is going to help me because it's one of those things. Do as I say, not as I do.
Hmm.
Focusing on that kind of interaction when it's really not even in your control if people notice it or see it or like it or whatever the case may be. It's not a healthy thing.
Definitely not.
It's always said control what you can control, and unfortunately, social media algorithms, unless you are a programmer or you see the trends and have that mindset, you can't control it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. Like, and that's what I like would tell myself too when I have my moments about posting stuff. It's like you can't like, and that's another thing I've learned too is like you can't control what other people think or say or anything like that. Like it's out of you can only control really what you can do for yourself.
Mhm.
So yeah. So, but
And you also can't control how people react to what you do or what you say,
mhm.
because
Yeah, exactly.
especially like with text-based social media, like if you post a video or something, typically people can get the message from it. But if you post text, sometimes people take it the wrong way. And it's like, this is not what I meant by this at all. And why are you just being angry? Because again, people are just angry about everything on social media. And
Mhm.
it frustrates me because I remember the days with social media where like you post a funny picture or you post your top eight, which people get mad if you're not in their top eight and your friends or whatever.
My
Good old
face.
MySpace days. Um,
Yeah.
but it's just so frustrating that we all want that like celebrity appeal as far as social media goes, but we don't want the negativity that comes along with it. And there's a lot of it. And even with people that aren't celebrities, there's a lot of negativity on social media. And I don't know why. Sure, is the world messed up? Sure. But you know what? You know what can help? Being a better person. And
Oh yeah,
that's
100%.
and that's one of the things that I have tried to do because I understand like when I first started doing social media, I was kind of an obnoxious asshole. I can see that me being opinionated about certain things was not a good thing. So I had to change my mindset completely. Be like, you know what? I'm not going to get anywhere being a jagoff. Hence why the slogan of this channel is "Don't be a jag."
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you have to at least try to be a good person, be kind to people, treat people well, raise people up. And that's something else that frustrates me about social media is, and maybe it's a little bit of jealousy. You see other people getting, oh, you're doing so good, doing so good, and then you don't see it for yourself, and it's like, what did I do? Like, why did I upset people? And maybe it's not like that at all. Maybe that's another thing that's all in our heads. But like you see that kind of thing, it's like, I would like some people to say some nice things about me,
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
and stuff like that could negatively affect a person when it might not even be like that. It could be something where, I don't see your posts or like I don't see this or that or anything. So I can't react to say you're doing good or whatever because I just don't see it. And we don't know that. We just assume that we're being shut off from the world in some aspects. It's social media is just such a mind fuck. It really is,
Mm, mm-hmm.
for lack of a
Oh
better
yeah.
term.
Hmm. Like I mean, when you do like say if you do like post something, it does get a lot of the like a reaction stuff. Sometimes you get that high, that euphoria, that dopamine hit, like
Mm-mm.
for like that one post, right? And then afterwards, then when you start like posting more, then you notice the difference. Then it really fucks up your mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I started to ex-nay and not post on social media much anymore.
Mm. Yeah, Twitter's the worst for it, and yet it's the one I use the most. So it's really on me.
See, with Twitter, like my feed's pretty good because I proactively block a lot of people. Right.
Hmm.
I'm like, if you could say one half-ass thing wrong, I'm like, you're blocked. Oh, like I said, or if I don't like your bio picture, if you're Trump this or Biden that or da 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 or like, anti woke this or woke warrior that, I'm like,
It's like goodbye.
not even, yeah, you are getting proactively blocked. Same thing on Facebook. So I mean, so my feed itself. So to find to go down that proverbial bullshit rabbit hole on Twitter, I do have to, and I do it to myself sometimes. You'll see something trending, I'm like, ooh, it's like, oh, and then then it's like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done this. And
Mhm.
I do and listen, I've been pretty good. Like I try not to post on like because someone will post something really stupid, and it could be like one of your best friends. I'm like, I'm not gonna get an argument with my best friend over, so we have a difference of opinions, but I'm not gonna, waste my time, but then you're blowing it over for like the next 6 hours, like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then just
And
for a real downward spiral, just like, it's like, so yeah, that's why, I mean, I listen, when I'm on social, I try to just look at my notifications, I try to stay away from my feed if I can, and, like I said, Twitter's pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've learned in my life I am not a confrontational person because I don't want to lose somebody over something stupid. And it's one of those things where like I was friends with a girl for about 11 years, and we had one fight in our entire friendship. And that was the one that ended it. So it's as SJ knows the full story. I'm not breaking down the full story on here, but it's one of
Mhm.
those things that it's nothing like. I'll preface it by saying it's nothing like either one of us did completely horribly to each other. It's just we got in a fight and we just called it there. It wasn't fun, but is what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but like you see these people on social media and like you don't agree with everything they say, but you like them as a person. And that's something that drives me insane about arguing about stuff on social media, arguing about politics on
Yeah.
social media. It's like you're not going to agree with everybody about everything. And also, a lot of you aren't politicians who run this country. So I don't know what you're trying to win in an argument here because all you're going to do is get pissed off
Yeah.
and nothing's going to change in your life other than maybe a few less people in it because you block them. It's like you're allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to discuss your opinion. You're not allowed to be an asshole about your opinion.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
that's the problem. That's the line that people just jump they jump rope with the some bitch. Like they don't there's no stopping it, especially with social media because there's no filter. And people just say whatever they want. And all I've said this before, I've said it for years. Social media needs to have everybody be verified, like IDs, all that stuff. Like obviously the IDs and stuff would be hidden, but like social media should be treated like the right to vote or the right to rent a car or whatever. It's like you need to be of a certain age and you need to verify yourself because if you just have a bunch of troll accounts treating people like crap and like people have committed suicide over stuff posted on social media.
Oh yeah,
It's
they
like
have.
Yeah. I
so
imagine being a kid nowadays.
no.
Teenager. I mean,
No.
went through enough shit when we were kids, and some of the cyberbullying I can't even imagine.
Mhm. And this is why I say,
Yeah.
like, there should be an age limit to using social media, and you should also have to put your face on there. So if you cyberbully somebody and they do something to themselves, then they should be charged with a crime. Like, that's exactly what should happen, and maybe, hopefully, that would cut down on the amount of cyberbullying, unless, of
Yeah.
course, you're just pure evil and you wanna cause people to do that anyway. It's just mind-numbing how simple a lot of this stuff could be, but everybody has to make it difficult, and as the resident expert on making things more difficult for yourself than they have to be, this shouldn't be one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I made legit friends. I mean, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't have met you guys without social media,
Mhm.
unfortunately. So I mean, you can use it for good,
Exactly.
but yeah, just I mean, there's times where I'll see something somebody posts and it'll literally knock me on my ass mentally for 6, 7 hours. I'll be useless. And listen, I'll lose sleep over it. And listen, that's one of my biggest problems. I sleep like shit already, so I don't need any more reasons to,
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's just not worth it.
And I'll tell you another story. Like, I've had somebody block me on social media after, being friends for a while. They never gave me a reason why. And sometimes I like lie awake at night wondering, what did I do? Because without that closure, it's like you get in your head so much. It's like, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? What could I have done better? And it could be none of that, but you don't know that because they don't tell you. So
No.
why, like, people, there are some people that just don't care what their actions do to other people. And it's
Yeah.
so beyond frustrating.
That's true. That's the fact too. Like it is a pain like that, that people like ghost you like that and stuff. But also another thing that that told me was that you have to also think to like what if they're going through something of their own, Like
Which is
maybe they yeah, like we don't know, right? So like what if they're going through something that's like messing them up and they don't want to talk to anybody or nothing. So that's just one of the things I've learned too. But I do understand the hurt and everything about something like that. But but yeah, like I also have in my mind that they're probably going through something or like or so yeah, like you just gotta sometimes take that into perspective as well because it kind of goes both ways.
Mhm.
But but yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's one of those things where, like, if a friendship is going to end or like communication is going to pause, at least have the courtesy to tell the other person that it's happening. Even if you don't get a why, at least you have a heads up.
Hmm.
It's like, hey,
Yeah.
because there have been so many people in my life that have just stopped talking to me. And it's like, what what did I possibly do that was so drastically bad that I'm not worth talking to anymore? I understand, and like I've learned this about myself. I can be a little much. I do have an obsessive personality. If I get attached to something, like, I want to talk about it or talk to that person as much as possible because, like, I don't feel like I have a large group of super close friends. So it's like if I meet somebody and I click with them, it's like I want to talk to them all the time.
You know what? You just like I was like that's kind of the way my like I am too cuz with borderline personality, that's what it is. You have abandonment issues, you get like obsessions and whatever and stuff. So maybe like who knows, maybe you're even sharing the same diagnosis as me.
It's possible. I have a lot of
Mhm.
things that I don't know what's wrong with me, admittedly. Um, but I'm pretty sure I'm some form on the autistic scale. I'm not sure where, but there's probably a reason I can remember like 95% of the Royal Rumble entrants in the order that they entered. That's not a normal thing. I'm very well aware, but
Mhm.
I, I, I think one of those things is that people really need to be kinder to each other. People need to be more empathetic towards each other. And like, I don't want to bring politics into this whatsoever, but like, I've seen so many people celebrate or mock deaths of other people. And it's like, just because of like political ties, it's like, if we've gotten to the point of not even respecting people when they die and just using it as a political tool, we're screwed as a society.
Hmm.
Like God send the flood, start over. Like we're done here.
Mhm.
It's I don't know how we got to this point,
Well,
Mhm.
but but
we're
it's
oh,
Go
that's
ahead.
because we're so desensitized to it too. I was
yeah.
just in my favorite conspiracy podcast too, and like I mean, with we'll just say with that Sarah Good lady and with Charlie Kirk, both of their murders were all over the internet.
Hmm.
You saw them die
Yep.
right to your face.
Hmm.
Like it's nothing. No
Yeah.
warning. No,
And people in both cases mocked it.
yeah,
People
and
on
it's
both
just
sides, and it's typically the worst of the worst people who do it. But it's like, I understand if you don't like somebody. I understand if you don't want to associate with them. I understand if you don't agree with them. Nobody deserves to get murdered. Period. End.
No,
yeah,
not at all.
it's just the way it's just out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I mean, I mean, 20 years ago, you couldn't say the F word on TV, and now they're showing, murders
Hmm.
like it's just it's like tonight at 6, it's really desensitized people, and SJ to your point too. I mean, empathy I mean, that is something that's been very good for us. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Stephen Covey and 7 Habits of Effective People, but he was talking one of the things he was talking about is he was on a train one day and this guy came out with his 3 kids in the subway. And kids are just all over the place doing this, that, other thing. And Mr. Covey goes, "Is like, are you gonna take care of your kids?" He's like, "Oh, we're sorry, their mom just died, and we're just coming back from the hospital." He's like, "Oh," and that really kind of stuck with him because you never know what people are doing, and sometimes maybe they are just an asshole. But what my wife and we like to do is, especially driving, because I have road rage issues, which is funny because I can't fight my way out of a wet paper bag. Living where I do is probably not the best thing to have road rage issues. So we just try to make up stories of what people are going through. It's like that person driving because they're late for an interview, or this person's tailgating me because, their wife's late for dinner or something like that and stuff like that. So just trying to make up stories, of what people are going through. Um, you know,
Wow.
are acting the way they are, even if it's not true. But I
Yeah.
mean, it gets you in the right frame of mind, and it just helps you. So that's something that we do. It's like why someone's like flipping out the grocery store. It's like well, you don't need to be flipping out the grocery store, but maybe they just lost their job or something like that,
Hmm.
or if you like do it like and like I said, we try to make a game out of it. So like try to be kind of like creative.
Hmm.
Hmm.
She's flipping out at there because I can't think of anything creative right now. So maybe she's upset at the Stranger Things ending. I don't know.
That is such a good thing to do, actually. Like,
Yeah.
wow. Like, I never thought of doing something like that.
Nah, so you guys are not trying that. So it's tough. I mean, like I said, sometimes it's just like you want to go up and smack somebody, but what's that going to do? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets you an assault charge. Is what it gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
So
Hmm.
I'll
And then
tell you what.
also, too, oh, sorry,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead, Greg.
No, go ahead.
No,
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, and then also too, like, that's why I always like say, like, be kind because you don't know what someone's going through, right? So,
And that's really it too. Like, so many people suffer in silence because they're either scared of like talking about it. They don't want people to be like, "Oh, just suck it up."
that's
I,
the
I,
worst.
I my ex-wife did that to me before. Um, Ironically enough, about the friend whose friendship ended with me. Um, but it's one of those things where you don't know how somebody processes something. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what could be the thing to make the person like mentally go off the handle. It could be the smallest thing. It could be the smallest inconvenience, but it's just enough to make somebody lose it. And I'll tell you what, 2025 going through the divorce and everything that I did, um, it was easily the lowest point of my mental health that I've ever been. And the two best weekends I had during the last like 6 months of last year were the two times I went to New Jersey
Mm.
because of the states, I went to do something that I really enjoyed. I got to spend a bunch of time with wrestling people, and it helped. It really did. And it's so frustrating that like something like that is going to be so helpful, but you don't do it enough to like take care of yourself because I mean, for one thing, traveling from Pennsylvania to New Jersey driving is expensive, but it's just so frustrating that like you wish that there would be. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you this one thing that really drove me nuts about my divorce. Like in the first like few days or so, they'd be like, "Oh, if you need anything," there are a bunch of people. "Oh, if you need anything, just get a hold of me." And like maybe one or two people checked up on me after that. It's like I'm going through one of the roughest periods of my life, and maybe this comes across as selfish. Tell me if it is. Please tell me so I can shut up. But it's like I know like you guys have busy lives, but like here I am frustrated and like no way to talk to. And it's like I want to talk to people, and then you just feel abandoned. Does this make sense, or am I just
Oh
rambling?
no, yeah, it
Oh
makes
no.
it makes complete sense. And I've definitely been very guilty of that too. Is like people are going through tough times, but sometimes you're having such a tough time on yourself that you don't have the bandwidth to help people, and then it just makes you feel like even worse.
Mhm.
Because a couple times they'll said, I found a friend of mine was super sick on Facebook. I had no idea.
Yeah,
But if I had checked in with the person more often, I maybe would have had a better idea. But sometimes you just don't have the bandwidth to help people, and that really sucks. That is one of that is one of the biggest things with the depression that I've got that I struggle with. Is just like I wish I could be. I mean, I like being there for people, but I don't feel like I am enough as I should be. Like I feel bad that I should have been there more for SJ when she was going through with everything she was going through and everything. It's just like
mm,
we are friends. We actually have each other's phone numbers, like,
yep.
but it's
And I
just,
have each other's phone numbers too.
and it's just sometimes it's just you don't have the bandwidth, and that's something that really just kicks me in the balls, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's just like I wish I could be there more for people, and just like last year, I had like 3 or 4 funerals. I didn't have it in me to go, and I regret it to this day. It's
mhm.
just like it would have taken 2 hours out of my fucking life. Ooh, it would have been mine. It would have been so much for all the people around. It's just like, well, you just don't have it in you, and
Yeah.
that sucks. That's one of my biggest struggles with this whole situation. And I've been having it for 35 years, and I should probably do something about it, but we'll see.
Well, for starters, Tom, you were there for me, like throughout that journey too. Like I remember I texted you a few times, so and you were there. So
Okay.
yeah, you're good there.
I mean, do you want to add to that, SJ? Because I know like we've both had conversations about
Mhm.
that particular subject. So
Mhm. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and Greg, and like with your sense of a band, I totally identify because there's been a couple times in my life, I'm like, where is everybody? I'm like,
yeah,
great, thanks, assholes. It's just like, but then it's just like, and then you take it out on them, and then they didn't really do anything wrong because listen, that way I'm a closed book. I mean, I'll be struggling, but I'm not gonna tell anybody about it.
mhm,
I mean, some people
Mhm.
are mind readers, but then I'll be pissed off because they didn't do anything about it. So it's like,
yeah. Well, I feel my situation is a little different because I try to be an open book on social media. Maybe not as much as I, or maybe more than I should be, I should say. But like I want to be somebody that comes across as honest, and sometimes honesty and reality isn't pretty. And that's one of the things that social media does. It like everything has to be like prim, proper, like spotless, and life isn't. So
Yeah, but
like,
that's just it though too, because sometimes like they have to know the realistic part of it, right? Like there's no like like there's no like beating around the bush. It's like good just to be straight, like realistically open with the person.
mhm. And it's frustrating too when you see the character of somebody who like treats you very well, who's very kind to you, and you see them getting attacked for the dumbest things on social media. Right? Like it's so frustrating because it's like you see who that person really is, and you know that that person doesn't need to be going through that. It's just wild the lack of. I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not the lack of care, the lack of tact. I don't. Somebody help me with what I'm trying to say.
Like empathy.
Yeah, lack of empathy. It's something else I can't think of, but lack of empathy will
Hmm.
work for what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
That people are just so self-involved. It's like there are people behind these accounts that you're not just yelling at AI, which
Yeah.
I'll be honest, yelling at AI is kind of fun. But but that's because it won't like hit you back. Um, but yeah, like I think the overall message of this is we as human beings, we need each other as human beings. You can try to replace us with AI. You can try and take humanity out of the equation with politics. But the fact of the matter is, no matter how much you try to automate things or take human work out of the equation, you will always need humans because they provide something that no amount of computing can.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
it's just shocking what people, yeah, like I don't think they think that people on the internet aren't real human beings. And there's a personal friend to all three of us, a wrestling journalist that we all know personally, who was probably one of the nicest people in the world. And some of the shits people have said to her, I went off on only a 10-minute tangent one time because I mean she'd share it. I was just like, are you people okay? Like, did someone really say that? It's like, why? It's just like, people are just, and people, the societies, they're just, they don't have any self-worth in themselves. So then they have to shit on somebody else. And
mhm,
that's a very a systemic thing, but they don't recognize that about themselves, if that makes sense.
yeah,
We are at least, self-aware,
Hmm.
not to try to suck our own dicks or anything, but we're at least a bit self-aware. On that,
Hmm.
but some people
I can't
just,
do that. I'm not flexible.
yeah, I've been working. I just getting back with DDP yoga, but even with the best times, I don't think I'll be doing that. But yeah, but it's just like, but I don't think people realize that you know, they don't have any self worth, and
Yeah,
they have to shit on somebody else, but they're not. Yeah, they're just not aware of it.
yeah,
You know.
and like prime examples. I'll name them. Sean and Kate, who get so much hate online, two of the absolute nicest people, especially like after the divorce. They were just so incredibly kind to me. I can't repay them enough for their kindness.
Hmm.
Like I love those two so much. And they just get bombarded
Yeah.
with all this stuff. And it's like wrestling is not that deep, guys. I've been watching for 35 years. It is not that deep. It
No.
really isn't.
Well, wrestling a lot like politics. Like I was talking about proactively blocking people. Even when it comes to wrestling, like if I see like WWE or AEW in your name, and you're like, like whatever it's shitting on them or whatever,
Yep.
you're getting blocked out of it. I don't need your
Yeah.
tribal, but
Yeah.
it's to be fun. It's meant to bring people together. I mean, like I said, once again, social media, but wrestling brought us all together.
Mhm.
And I've made so many friends, and unfortunately, just I used to go to a lot of wrestling shows, and when I said, "Esther, when you're talking about the street team thing," I just don't go as many as I used to. That sucks. I mean, I used to probably go to 5, 6 shows a month pretty easily.
Yep.
And this year I might go to 10. But I mean, that's just another story in itself. But yeah, like you said, I mean, Caitlin is a personal friend to all of us. I mean, she was super amazing to my wife, and anyone that's super nice to my wife unsolicited, gets, I mean, I've got your back to the day I die.
Yep.
And just some of the shit she's got to put up with. It's just like people think it's like you said. They're I don't know. Yeah, I,
And we've all gotten to meet Kate, and she's just the absolute best person. Like I
She's
mean,
so she has such a big heart, like,
he does.
like has so much care and heart to give. Like she's great.
But
yeah. It's not that serious, people.
no, it's not. And not this is gonna become like a 10-minute putting Kate over session, but like she's really um I cannot speak highly enough of her because of how much she helped me. And she might not even think she did a ton, but she really did, in my mind, to help me through the toughest period of my life. So I'm forever grateful to her.
Yeah.
So we've hit a little over an hour. So I would like to close this by all of us giving one piece of advice to those struggling with mental health. SJ, I will start with you.
Well, um, never be afraid to talk to somebody. Like, it could be like the best thing, the best change in your life ever. Like example, like I said, I was struggling like to get the help I needed. When I finally got it, I felt better. So if you want someone to talk to or if you need help, try and get that help. Please try and get that help.
All right. That, I mean, that's very true. Tom.
Um, yeah. I mean, I am the exact opposite of that. You know, I just I've been too stubborn, my entire life. But yeah, listen, I mean, whenever you see those commercials, there's always somebody listening, and I just in the back of my head, I'm like, fuck you, there's not no one's listening to me, assholes. But don't be me. Like Greg said earlier, do as I say, not as I do. But like I mentioned earlier, I think the two things that people could do, besides being more empathetic, is A, shut off your phone whenever you can, leave it away. Just get outside. I know that the hip thing is to go outside and touch grass, but no, seriously, go outside, touch some grass, shovel some snow, just get some fresh air, and just look at the sky and just realize there's a lot more to life than your goddamn phone. So just I think if people just stayed away from their phone and social media as much as they could, I think we would all be in a better place mentally.
Yeah, and then yeah, and then they can just be mindful with what's around them.
Yeah, yeah, because that's what North Sea is. I'm always looking ahead. I'm never present enough. That's another big issue, and yeah, it's a good thing. That really helps with just be mindful.
Yeah, I know I'm guilty of that terribly because
Yeah,
I have really bad social anxiety as well. But I think the one thing that I can leave you with is talk to other people. Like it's piggybacking off of what SJ said, but getting the help that you need is you can't do it alone. So it's cutting the pride out of your life to saying, "Hey, I can do this on my own." Sometimes you can't, and that's okay. It is okay to ask for help. It
And it's
really is.
okay not to be okay.
It
yeah,
is okay not to be okay. So, SJ, Tom, thank you very much. I think this was a very good talk. I
It
think it
was.
was. I hope whoever watches this, if you're struggling with mental health issues, reach out to somebody. There's things like the 988 Lifeline that help with like suicide prevention. We did a charity fundraiser for them a couple of years ago, and it's so important to get help. And with there's so many resources out there that take advantage of them.
yeah, and even if you don't want to talk about your mental health, just talk to somebody about something else. Just I mean, try and communicate with people like with wrestling. Wrestling has brought us all together. Be out there and talk about wrestling with people more often.
Yeah.
In a good way. Don't argue about it, but yeah, just talk. I mean, sometimes you don't want to talk about your mental health, but just talk to people in general. Have a real human connection. Um, yeah,
Find something you like find something that you have in common with another person and just share your likes of because you never know, you could strike up a new friendship, you could strike up something even more than friendship. You never know. Just I want to close it too by thanking SJ thanking Tom. This has been Greg Talks to People, and if I had to give one piece of advice to end on, be kind to each other.